Andy's Garage, I'm Andy Phillips. Today I'm going to show you how to fix splitting fiberglass. So let's get started. In order to complete this, you need very little items. You're looking at less than $10 right here. Basically what you're going to need is a small flat file, so that way we can clean out that crack real good to create a good bond. Next thing, you're going to need some JB Weld. You can also get their plastic bonder, which I did not have, so I'm using just clear weld, but this is really good stuff here. This is very strong. It's over 4,000 PSI, and it dries in about 5 minutes, fully cures in about an hour. This will definitely hold it. This is made for fiberglass as well. And then just some C-clamps, so that way we can squeeze that together and get a nice tight bond. So now that we have all this together, let's head over and look at the fiberglass that's damaged. What we're dealing with here is a car door. If you've been following any of my videos, this is one of the Countach doors off the Countach replica project that I'm working on. And you can see right here, you'll see the split here. There's another one further down. But basically, the fiberglass has split here in the middle. So what we want to do is join that back together. We want to make sure that it's nice and solid before we put some filler in there and finish that up, so that way it doesn't split. So that's what we're going to be dealing with. So we're going to clean that out, so that way we have a nice clean bond, and then we'll start putting that epoxy from JB Weld. We'll start putting that in there, and then we'll clamp that together. Let it sit for about an hour, so that way it'll be nice and tight, and then we'll come with some body filler and just kind of smooth that out real nice and clean that up. There you can see the crack really good and see how it's splitting. Now what we're going to use is this file to go in here and clean out that gap in here. So we're just going to go in here gently, just kind of scrape off any debris, clean it out. Then we'll use a shop vac, vacuum that out and clean it before we put the epoxy in. I'm going to take this one just to kind of open that split up a little bit better, so then we can get another file in here, and then we can just clean that out real good. All the cracking has been cleaned out, surface cleaned off, wiped down, all the dust removed, ready to have the epoxy applied to it. I'm getting ready to mix the epoxy. Now you need to move fast with that stuff because it starts to cure within 5 minutes. So you have just a little bit of time to apply it, so you need to make sure that you've got the area ready to go before you mix it. What I will do is I'll take a flathead screwdriver just to open up that gap. That way we can get that epoxy nice and deep all the way in there, and then when we're done, then we'll put the C-clamps on it. Now, before you put C-clamps on, you want to make sure that you have some kind of a blocking that you can apply to the fiberglass. I'm just using about an 1/8 inch thick polycarbonate, some scrap that I have laying around here, but if you have plywood or anything, because when those C-clamps go on, and I'll show you, these things here, when they go on there and tighten, you don't want that circular piece pressing into your fiberglass and damaging it. So you want to have a little bit of a shield there. So I'm going to put acrylic or polycarbonate or plywood, whatever you have, on both sides, and use that as the buffer. And that'll also balance the pressure across that crack. So let's go ahead and mix that so we can start applying it in there. Now the good thing about this JB Weld is it's a 2-part epoxy, but it's already pre-mixed in this syringe here. So all you do is you just remove the top. And we'll just apply. You want to make sure you only apply the amount you're going to need, because this stuff will dry fast. You don't want to waste it. So let's go ahead and apply that. That should be enough for this application. And then once you're done, you want to make sure that you put the cap back on. And then it comes with a little stirring stick here. You want to make sure that you mix that real good. And then once it's mixed, we'll go ahead and start applying it to the crack. Go ahead and open up that crack real good. We'll take that compound, the epoxy, make sure that you get it in. You want to work it in all the way into that crack. And then we can always come back afterwards and sand this. But we want to make sure that that's in there all the way, so we get a very good bond. Here we go. Work that in. Here we go. All the epoxy has been applied and smoothed out, filled the gaps, letting it dry for a few minutes, and then we'll put the clamps on there to hold it for the remaining hour as it cures. Tightening on the C-clamps now, going gentle there, and you can see it squeezing it together, and that's exactly what we want. So that should be good. We'll let that sit for about an hour, and then we can take those off after it fully cures, and then we can sand that down. It's been a little over an hour, so this is fully dry in here. Went ahead and removed the clamps as we just did, and you can see here, perfect. Nice tight seal. The crack has been filled with that epoxy, all filled up. What I'm going to do now is just let it dry for probably another couple hours, then we'll go ahead and light sand that smooth, and then you can put a little bit of body filler if needed, but to be honest, this has kind of filled in everything. It's nice and smooth, so I think we can just light sand it and then prime it and paint it, but I'll get a close-up of that for you. Here's a close-up, as you can see. Nice and filled. Nice and smooth. Crack looks very good. All right, well, as we just saw, this is nice and tight. This is all sealed. That separation and crack has been joined and bonded back together, and in the process, it actually filled that crack. So I don't even know if I need to use body filler to fill it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow it to dry maybe a couple more hours, and then I'm going to go over and light sand it. We'll take a look at it. If need be, we'll do just a light coat of body filler, sand that down before we get ready to paint it. But that pretty much wraps up how to fix that. So as we close this video, that pretty much wraps up how to fix fiberglass that's separating or splitting apart. I hope this video was informative to you. Please send me any questions, any comments. I would love to hear from you. As always, I appreciate all of the support. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm always posting new content, and I'll see you next time.